This is your weekly IUP broadcast, broadcasted from the comfort of our own home. My name's Liam Noble.
And my name is Anaya Pinckney. IUP is currently collaborating with students and local communities in preparing 3D printers to make face shields for healthcare workers. IUP is lending its expertise and financial resources to the group who is now called the COVID Avengers. Distribution of the completed mask is occurring daily, and requests have come as far away as Baltimore, Maryland.
Still related to the Indiana community, it's been more than 5 weeks and many shops in Indiana have been closed. Some restaurants chose to be closed altogether while others only reopened for takeout. One local restaurant, however, stands out because they offer free meals for students or those in need. Samantha McGill has a story.
The COVID-19 outbreak has resulted in drastic social change all over the world. With businesses, schools, public facilities, and restaurants closing, a lot of people are struggling to keep their businesses afloat. Many restaurants in Indiana have decided to close or provide limited services such as takeout. Tony De Loretto, the owner of Spaghetti Benders on Philadelphia Street, is taking extra steps to help out the community.
We're down less than 50% right now, but we're hanging in there, and people are supporting us, and just like that's what we ask everybody to do, just go ahead and support the restaurants that are doing takeout.
Spaghetti Benders in Indiana has just been one of many that has been very active in giving back to the community, offering free school lunches to students K through 12, Monday through Friday, because some students are reliant on school lunches.
Well, when we first heard that the schools were closing, we decided that, me and my wife Cherry decided that we were going to feed the kids no matter what. And we decided to do that before the schools had the school districts decided to feed everybody too, so we were prepared to do 400 or 500 kids a day, and we've been averaging between 30 and 40 a day.
De Loretto has also made sure to take extra precautions when it comes to food preparation and making sure both customers and employees are safe.
Wearing gloves, we're wearing masks. It's a takeout process only, so it's really cut down on, probably about half the business. We're half staff, so a lot of people are losing hours. Just in general, it's a lot slower, a lot quieter. Tips aren't as lucrative as they usually are.
Businesses like this are a bright light in a dark, uncertain time. Make sure to swing by Spaghetti Benders for some takeout. Reporting for IUP-TV News, this is Samantha McGill. Stay safe.
Another restaurant that tries to give back to the community is the fast food chain Burger King. This restaurant is offering free meals and increased sanitation due to the current circumstances. Kayla V has the story.
Indiana, PA has been quarantined for a few weeks now. Dozens of restaurants, schools, and businesses have closed. A bunch of businesses decided to use this opportunity to give back to the community. One business deciding to do this is Burger King. Burger King is a multinational chain of hamburger fast food. During this quarantine, they decided to stay open and give out 2 free kids meals with every adult-sized purchase. I actually got an opportunity to speak to one of the employees of Burger King.
So Burger King's doing a lot in efforts to combat COVID-19. We wash our hands every 30 minutes. We use gloves every time you come through the drive-thru along with a tray and service so our hands are not touching yours to make everybody stay safer. We're also offering 2 free kids meals with a purchase in order to combat the struggle that some of our fellow Americans are having with money right now. You can stop in for 2 free kids meals.
Burger King CEO Jose Sil says there's a tremendous impact on children as a result of all schools closures. So Burger King decided they would help out in any way that they could.
Being an essential worker throughout this crisis is kind of a win-lose situation, but we go by every day and just continue to help serve others because we know they need it.
This is Kayla Veith reporting for IUP-TV News.
It's good to see what these restaurants have been doing lately because of COVID-19. Speaking about restaurants, I heard that some states have even allowed restaurants and other businesses to stay open. I know we're both in the Philadelphia area, but has that really happened to you?
Yes, actually in my area, a lot of restaurants and fast food places are still open and offering curbside pickup. Of course, you can't go in and eat your meal the traditional way, but you can still take advantage of these alternatives and still enjoy a nice fast food meal. But I know following Governor Wolf's announcement Every restaurant, or most of them, are requiring that customers wear face masks or they will be denied entry into the building. Taylor Jones has the story.
Pennsylvania is starting curbside pickup at liquor stores around the state, just as Governor Tom Wolf ordered them closed as being a part of a broader shutdown of businesses deemed non-essential. The Liquor Control Board stated on their website that they are allowing customers to place orders and pick up their selection at a nearby location. Here are a few things you need to know about this curbside pickup. Stores will take a limited number of phone orders, such as only one order per caller per day. And orders will be limited to no more than 6 bottles. Pickup will also be scheduled between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Also, if you're thinking about making a trip to the grocery store or pharmacy, make sure you have a surgical or homemade mask.
I'm asking all Pennsylvanians to wear a mask anytime you leave your house.
Governor Tom Wolf and the Secretary of Health has mandated that all workers, customers, and essential businesses are required to wear masks. Businesses that see a customer not wearing a mask are ordered to turn that customer away. The order will help workers who are at businesses that are authorized to maintain in-person operations. This is Taylor Jones reporting for IUP-TV News.
Well, if you like it or not, this week is the last week of class. And for me personally, it's honestly a really bittersweet feeling. How's your experience adapting to online classes this semester, Anaya?
Online classes has been very, very hard for me, but we're nearing to the end. Finals week is coming up, and it'll all be over soon. And I know some people might be struggling, especially those who have never experienced online classes or those who have limited internet connection or supporting technology. Our reporter, Eric Lynch, asked a few people on this experience. Here's the story.
As a response to the coronavirus, all K-12 schools and universities in Pennsylvania have canceled in-person lectures and have moved to online curriculums for the rest of the school year. This transition, though, has come with its own faults.
I myself have found it particularly difficult to get used to the online curriculum, and I wanted to know what other students had to feel about it as well.
I sat down with current IUP student Shane Farrell, who had to adjust to the new curriculum at the school.
My experience so far, it's been good. I mean, I think IUP's done a really good job of kind of having still those Zoom, just meeting interactions with the professors. So it's not like you're still trying to do everything on yourself. The professors are still doing a really good job of keeping hands-on, kind of still trying to stick to their agenda and some changes to make it easier. I would probably say, I don't know, it's kind of hard. I think to make it kind of easier, I think is probably trying to work on some of the assignments that you give. Some of the assignments that are given, sometimes it can be hard to do them online rather than in person, being able to get the resources that you need or being able to meet up with people for it's like a group project.
While some are finding it easy to adapt, others felt the transition to be harder than dealing with just the normal coursework. I was able to catch up with Tanner Martin, a senior at Lock Haven University, who was in charge of the ROTC program at his school, and ask him about what changes he needed to make in order to keep the program active.
A lot of changes, actually. We're actually fortunate a little bit because RTC is split up between a couple different campuses. So we already use Zoom and stuff like that to already do our weekly meetings. But we also had to kind of think outside the box a little bit when it comes to training. Instead of obviously doing the hands-on and face-to-face training, we now have to kind of flip it into a virtual world. So a lot more like PowerPoint presentations, kind of putting them in the mindset without actually having them do the actual physical activity.
With this time of uncertainty, President Driscoll announced in his video release that he was given approval to give students the choice on whether they want to keep their normal GPA grading or have a pass-fail option that they can choose. I sat down and talked with current IUP student Olivia Ryan to ask what she thought about the decision made by President Driscoll.
So from what I'm understanding about the pass-fail option that IUP is giving us for this semester is that we are going to receive our final grades after we take finals in a couple weeks. And from those grades, if some are unsatisfactory and can affect our GPA in a negative way, that would get rid of scholarships for some people or just affect their overall financial aid, then they can choose to just have it show up as pass and not show up as that negative grade. I'm mostly counting on getting pretty good grades, so I'm probably going to have all of mine just count to boost up my GPA.
For the time being, students and faculty can only do their best with finishing their coursework and their college careers online. This is Eric Lynch with IUP-TV News.
If I may add, some people might find it really challenging to adapt not only to schools, but also further routines, which can affect an individual's mental health. During the COVID-19 pandemic, resources might not be available to those who need it, which can provide further challenges on mental health. Our reporter, Cade Bardette, explored how people try to maintain their mental health during this quarantine time.
When students left their classes and living residence behind just before spring break, no one could fathom what lied just ahead, causing students to be unable to return to campus. Since mid-March, our country has been in the middle of a nationwide shutdown due to the coronavirus pandemic that has swept the country. This has caused members of the workforce and students alike to transition from the office or classroom and into working from home. As you can imagine, in a time like this, the mental state of our people is not in its best condition, and our nation's suicide rates are up. I sat down with Tiffany Kleiser, a mental health worker in York County, Pennsylvania.
I have been working from home, supervising the forensic mental health system for York and Adams counties. It has been a struggle because we've been doing what we typically do in person, we've been doing over Zoom.
Kleiser details her own experiences with personal clients since the pandemic erupted in the middle of March, and how she believes this shutdown is affecting the mental state of our country.
We have been dealing with increased suicide rates and relapses, unfortunately, which is very sad. Face-to-face contact is important, and it's a struggle to do counseling sessions over the phone. We are also tasked with bringing people out of the prison who are at risk for the coronavirus, and that has been a struggle due to the lack of mental health services available right now due to the pandemic.
In this time of quarantine, people are forced to find new things to help keep them active, while maintaining an appropriate social distance at the same time.
During this pandemic, I enjoy spending time with my family and my dogs, especially my three. I have a dachshund, a lab, and a terrier, and they bring us a lot of enjoyment and entertainment during these days that are long. I also like to get outside, go for walks, enjoy the sunshine, and do bonfires with my family.
While the quarantine period has brought out the creativity amongst us and changed the in-home environment forever, people are itching to resume with their regular lives.
What I look forward to the most post-coronavirus is going out for dinner and going on a vacation. We canceled a vacation to Jamaica in June, so we're disappointed, but we will hopefully make up for that and go somewhere, maybe within the United States. But I'm really excited to go on vacation and go out for dinner and spend time with family and friends that we haven't seen.
The time it takes to get back to our regularly scheduled lives is dependent on our ability to stay home, be sanitary, and maintain a social distance, and we advise you to do those things. With IUP-TV News, this is Cade Burdett.
Aside from adapting to online classes or Zoom meetings, others, like the students in our class, have to learn by doing. The result is some creative ways to send messages to our audiences, not only through news stories, but also through public service announcements. Here are some of the PSAs.
Beware of internet trolls spreading lies in different forms of social media. Always check these facts using reliable sources before reposting or sharing. Here are examples of this false information. Eating Chinese food will give you corona. Coronavirus cannot be spread by food. Home remedies will speed recovery. There's no evidence claiming any of these offer any protection from the virus. America will run out of toilet paper. Toilet paper makers are ramping up production, so we will not run out. And there are many, many more. Just remember to check your facts and stay safe.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Did you seriously just cough in your hand?
Yeah.
Were you planning on washing that hand?
No. Who's speaking right now?
Haven't you heard of COVID-19? Look, you really need to be washing your hands, especially with soap. Here's why. Viruses have an outer layer made of proteins and fats. This layer protects the virus's inside, Conveniently, soap contains an enzyme that dissolves fats. Here's a demonstration. If you add a fatty oil into water, the oil will separate from the water. But if we just add a little bit of hand soap and we agitate the water and the oil, you can see that the oil dissolves into the water. The enzymes in the soap penetrate the fatty layer and physically rip the virus apart, killing it. So please remember to always wash your hands thoroughly with soap. And don't forget to rinse. What are you waiting for? Rinse your hands.
As we end the month of April and the spring semester in general, I really miss my friends from college and I can't wait to see them again. At least for me, I get a chance to see them in the fall. And by then, hopefully we do have face-to-face classes again. But for those who are graduating this semester, it's going to be really hard for them with commencement being pushed all the way to September and having their last semester being ripped away from them, at least because of the pandemic. I got a chance to talk to my friend Steven Smartnick, who is graduating this semester, and his thoughts on the whole situation. Here's what he had to say.
So about like commencement being canceled, I'm pretty glad that they actually did move it back to September, because it wasn't really like a personal issue with me that they canceled commencement, but I feel like commencement is more so for the parents that put you through college to see you actually have that success and walk across the stage. So the fact that they offered like it in September is actually fantastic in my opinion, because that made my parents a lot happier to know.
Yeah, honestly, that's totally agreeable because, like, if you're a senior, you want your parents to see you go up there and not be, like, on a virtual screen or whatever. So
Yeah,
it
exactly.
makes everyone's life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, they didn't, like, put up with us for 22 years and put us through all of this just to, have the moment just be, like, there and then just gone.
Exactly. Like, you want it, like, IUP did a really good job in, making sure that everyone's there and that you guys can have an actual commencement. And, even though despite COVID-19 kind of happening.
Yeah, and a lot of people were substituting with like online commencements. And while that may work for some people that are far away, I feel like if you're close to the college, that just isn't the right type of like way to go about doing it for the parents that could be there.
Yeah, and you just get like a virtual PDF of your like, certificate. And like, it's not the same. It definitely isn't.
No, it's not the same type of feeling that you've been looking forward to like your whole life.
Yeah, but how about internships? I know that you said you had an internship lined up before we started recording, but how has the COVID-19 affected you in terms of internships?
Well, it's actually been a wild ride to get my internships. I originally had one offered to me by Dr. Fratangeli at IUP, and that was going to be doing graphic design. But I luckily got an offer in Pittsburgh for one that was going to be paid and everything. So I looked into that. They wanted to hire me and everything, but it was literally right at the time that COVID-19 became a big like epidemic. So I got an email back in a week saying that they aren't bringing interns on this summer and everything, and they're just skipping that entirely. But luckily, the plan IUP like has in place for all of us students really helped me out in the end, going back to the graphic design internship.
That's awesome too. Like IUP is, like I said before, IUP's done a great job during this, pandemic, and I'm really proud of them for what they've accomplished. Like in terms of, teachers going online for Zoom, the graduation being pushed back, and the internships helping, comm students and the like out. It's definitely been a huge help.
I like it too because with them offering the internship for our students, that leaves us with something to actually put on our resume instead of say in fall whenever like all this blows over and we're applying to jobs, just having to say, oh, well, COVID-19 messed everything up. I couldn't get a job then. But actually having that, I feel like will be a big advantage, just like other students have gotten in the past with internships whenever COVID wasn't a thing.
Universities around the state of Pennsylvania have adjusted their commencement plans. The University of Pittsburgh held their commencement on April 26 last week, and Carnegie Mellon held their virtual commencement even earlier than that. But in the middle of April, IUP, on the other hand, chose to hold their commencement on a later date.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. We'll bring you updates on graduation and other events marking the end of the spring semester. And if you have any final projects that are creative and would like to share with us, make sure to send it to our Instagram. We'll be sure to provide it on our story or as a post. My name's Liam Noble.
And my name is Anaya Pinkney. Don't forget to check out our social medias for news stories. We'll see you next week.